Week 8 of the NFL. Week 8 of the NFL. And boy, did we have storylines from blowouts to close games, devastating injuries, and ugly uniforms. We'll get into all of it. Week 8 of the NFL right here on the Morning Juice. Welcome in, everybody. This is the Morning Juice. We're brought to you by Rocky Mountain Sports Network. We have an amazing sponsor called Morgan Trinkets, and this is our weekly morning NFL show every Monday morning, 7 a.m. Mountain Standard Time. My name is Keith Brugman. Can't wait to get it kicked off and started with my good friend and co-host, Mr. Kenny Kirkpatrick. Kenny, welcome to the show, man. Feeling a little bit better after a tough day yesterday, and I can understand that, my friend.
Yeah. As a Giants fan, it was tough. We're going to get into that in a minute, but I'm doing good. Halloween week, I'm going to be making a trip up to New Jersey this weekend coming up, and going to be a fun time, and looking forward to the week ahead. So we got a lot to talk about, some good, some bad, some ugly, and get the show started. And like I always do, and I'm breaking the rules today for the first time on Morning Juice. I'm not drinking a juice. I'm drinking a good old-fashioned glass of chocolate milk today. So let's juice it up, everybody. Breaking the rules, but let's juice it up, everyone, and let's have a fun show and fun day as well.
Yeah, man, ready for a good show. Chocolate milk. I like the chocolate milk, man. It's been a while, man. Now, if you would have done strawberry milk rather than chocolate milk, you could get away with the juice. I don't know if that necessarily, strawberry juice. I don't know the last time I had a strawberry juice, but at least you're in the right family then. But hey, man, I like the chocolate milk, man. Getting us started, man.
Right, and there's a comedian, Lewis Black, if you ever heard of him. He did a bit on milk, like all these milks, that lactose intolerant milk, and he mentioned soy milk, and he said, "What is soy milk? It's soy juice." And, they use the word milk because it sounds better, but he's like, it's not milk, it's just juice. But he's a really funny comedian. But I just remembered that just as we were talking about milk. So cheers, everybody. Juice it up.
Juice it up. Well, it's the old standby for me. Toasted coconut, 10%, Kona coffee blend, Lion Coffee. If you're a coffee lover, unofficial sponsor, Lion Coffee. Head on over to lioncoffee.com. Kenny, we wanted to kick it off, have a little bit of fun here on Halloween week as well before we start breaking into all the scores and all the breakdowns and the games itself. And we love to do these blind blind rankings. And you got one lined up for me. I'll have one lined up for you. Maybe I'll hold yours for a little bit later so we don't get too wrapped up into blind rankings and get into the scores as well, as fans are starting to filter in here, my friend.
Yeah, got Ernie saying hello. What's up, Ernie? Do you want me to do mine first, Keith?
Yeah, it's all you.
Well, like typical morning shows, when certain weeks you like to bring some entertainment into this. So with Halloween week, I went on, and this is a survey of 2025 top 5 Halloween candies that people have voted for trick-or-treaters. So keep that in mind. Not the best candy bars or this out there, but trick-or-treaters, what they like, the 5 best. I'm going to start with M&Ms, 1 through 5.
You got to give a solid ranking to M&Ms because they just seem to keep on giving, man. It's like that little package, but it seems like there's always another one back in the corner. I'm going to give it a 2.
2 for M&Ms, okay? Going to go right at, we're going to throw some more. We're going to throw a chocolate bar in there. We're going to throw Snickers in there.
Snickers. See now I'm starting to think about the little trick-or-treaters, man. And not every little trick-or-treater probably loves a Snickers bar. I'm going to give it a 4, buddy.
Fair enough. Sour Patch Kids.
Oh, now you're talking what kids will love. Boy, I don't want to give away my number 3 though, man. I mean my number 1, so I'll give it number 3 and hope for something better around the corner for number 1.
Butterfingers. You got 1 and 5 left.
Ooh. Well, then I'm just going to go with my heart then. I'll put Butterfingers, a fresh Butterfinger right at the top, number 1, my friend.
Okay, and then Reese's Peanut Butter Cups is going to be number 1. Are you okay with that?
Oh, boy. I know I probably didn't nail this ranking like I did last week, Kenny, man, because Reese's Peanut Butter Cups is probably much better deserving than the 5 ranking that it's getting in my blind ranking. But I guess it gets number 5 in this one. Shouldn't be number 5, though.
No, it shouldn't be. And you're going to get a C-, and that might be being kind. I'm not going to give you a D, but Snickers was number 1.
Oh.
Reese's number 2. M&M's 3. Butterfinger surprisingly at the 4 spot, and Sour Patch Kids was number 5.
Wow.
They say kids. It didn't say the ages of it. It said through children, so it could have been maybe more teenagers in this than maybe adults who still go trick or treating too. It just said trick or treaters.
Hey, man, we're all kids at heart, Kenny. We're all kids at heart. Like Mr. Michael Ronquillo coming in, getting us kicked off this morning. Said, good morning, Keith and Kenny. And the morning juice, Go Bo Broncos, blue and orange hearts.
100 stars, salute. As always. So I'm going to give him the salute. Michael, it's a little glass of chocolate milk. I'm breaking the rules today, but cheers to you, my friend, everybody's friend, Michael Ronquillo.
Me and Michael Ronquillo are almost, in the same, what is that, latitude, longitude? I don't know. We're almost in line, north and south. But I'm sure because he's so much further down. Right now, if I looked out my window, I'd probably see stars right now. But he's probably got a little more light, might be my guess. Welcome in, Michael Ronquillo. Great way to maybe segue, man. We'll go right into the to the games of yesterday, and why not get started with my Denver Broncos, who put on a showing out there, Kenny, and got to be. I mean, just going back and trying to replay and relive this. I still got to watch some all 22 film. I was watching a little bit of Good Morning Football and a little teaser they had, and I almost totally forgot about this. Deontay Tillman and his interception and his running over guys, and thank goodness he just held on to the ball, but running over guys and going downfield, and a big return for DeAndre Tillman. It was a game that I wanted to see from my Denver Broncos, and this Denver Broncos team took care of business in a 44-24 beatdown of the Dallas Cowboys defense, at least, So
I was big thank you to Denver Broncos and the Broncos country. Returned a favor from earlier in the season from my team beating the Giants. You guys beat the Cowboys for us, and it's always rewarding to see the Cowboys get beat in this kind of fashion. And having the Broncos do it just added to that. Put the icing on the cake for me in that game. So good win for them, and part of the toasted segment, right, Keith? Broncos.
I was going to wait for you, my friend, because you usually do the lineup on the toasted. Do it well, my friend.
Well, I didn't do much on this one. I thought you were going to do it, but we'll just improvise on this one. I mean, little Jerry Jones got Texas toasted in this game. Broncos, like a rodeo. The Broncos were bucking, and they were bucking those Cowboys off their backs real quick in this game. There was no chance for the Cowboys to have any chance of scoring in consistent fashion in this game. Like those people that enjoy those rodeos, and Cowboys had no chance against the What's the Thunder's the Bronco name, right? Thunder's the mascot name. Thunder.
Miles, the mascot, Thunder, the one that runs the field. Yeah, the
Yeah,
real horse that runs
they
the
had
field. Correct.
no chance against Thunder over there. So Texas toasted. Thunder took care of business, and Bo Nix in the offense rolled in this one. And looking forward to what the Broncos have in store next week and the weeks ahead, because they're right there in the hunt for top seed in this AFC right now. They're right there in the hunt.
Yeah, absolutely. A little bit of Texas toast. I'll put on there. We'll actually have the chance to do it back to back as we have the Texans next, if I remember correctly on the schedule. So maybe we can double up, have 2 slices of Texas toast. I was talking with our good friend Adam and Kayla off air on Messenger, and the one thing I said to them, this was a game where we felt in control of this game very early. I wasn't in a panic. I wasn't on the edge of my seat. It felt like we were in control of this game. Kind of speaks to the way we were able to toast this Denver Broncos or this Dallas Cowboys defense in this 44-24 victory. 6-2, leading the AFC West. Loving it. Congratulations to my Denver Broncos. Let's flip over to your Giants, man. It was a rough day to be a Giants fan, and I'll be honest, man. The call is out all the way across the board. Hearts are going out to Cam Scatterboo. Heck, even they were showing the Philadelphia Eagles fans showing some compassion for what happened on the field. And, let's face it, you don't turn to a Philadelphia Eagles fan to find much compassion typically.
No, and it shows how in just a few short weeks in his career, how respected he is in the league. Cam Scatterboo goes out with a horrific, I can't even go back and watch it. Just happened, thank goodness, to turn away for a brief second, maybe look at my phone, and I see Scatterboo goes down. So I never saw the play live, but dislocated ankle, not a pretty sight. I would suggest if you are, if you're not good at seeing those types of things, don't go looking for it on YouTube. It's horrific. But I did hear some good news. He had his surgery yesterday, but to my surprise, 4 to 6 months recovery time for this injury. I thought it was. I was mistaken with Nick Chubb was a knee. Mm-hmm. Cam Scatterboo was the ankle. So 4 to 6 months recovery time. Really, really excited about that. Don't want him to come back this year at any, 4 to 6 months. He won't be back this year, but let's hope he can come back next year and bring some more excitement to not only the Giants, but the NFL. But as the game itself, Jalen Hurts goes off. He has 4 touchdowns, 170 yards, but the one guy you needed to stop in this game with A.J. Brown out, Keith and chat audience, was Saquon Barkley. And what does he do? First play, 60-yard touchdown, his first run of the game. And then he adds, a receiving touchdown. And Tank Bigsby also had 117 yards. They ran for almost 300 yards on us. And you knew that that's what they were going to try and do in this game with no A.J. Brown. Once again, Giants defense, questionable calls, and didn't have the offensive firepower to score in the 30s, especially after when Cam Scatterboo goes down. 38-20. Jackson Dart showed some nice signs, and once again, I do think he is the Giants franchise quarterback of the future. But until you can get him some extra weapons and some added, and the defense can play better, we may not find many more wins this year, unfortunately. So, but I do see him being the franchise quarterback.
Yeah, a lot of good things happening for New York with Cam Scatterboo and Jackson Dart kind of paired up, and the momentum that they had. Jackson Dart obviously very physically upset at the injury when it happened. One comparison I did have, Kenny, sounds like Dak Prescott went through the exact same dislocated ankle, if you remember correctly. Dak Prescott now back this year, one of the top quarterbacks in the league out there dealing. So hopefully we see that same bounce back for Cam Scadaboo, and he goes out there and he's out there winning scepters, angry runs.
Yep.
Miss Pearl coming out there saying she's feeding her corgis now, and good morning to everybody. Good morning to you, Miss Pearl. Let's jump into the NFL scores as we get around the league. Kenny, we started off with a Vikings-Chargers game. This could have been a toasted segment as well, as we really start to see, I think, around this time of the year in the league, teams start to separate themselves a little bit, and we saw kind of a separation as the Vikings. Maybe we see a J.J. McCarthy now, but we didn't see him on Thursday night as they took on the Chargers and took a 10-37 loss in Los Angeles.
Yeah, a couple of stats here in this game. The Vikings fall to 3-4. The Chargers improve to 5-3, and in the hunt for the AFC West. 34 total rushing yards for the Vikings. Kamai Vidal for the Chargers alone had 117 on 23 carries. He came into the season as the third string running back, maybe even fourth string running back for the Chargers. And it shows how much Jim Harbaugh values the run game. Justin Herbert goes 18 for 25, 227 with 3 touchdowns. So Chargers in that hunt for the AFC West until J.J. McCarthy comes, and he may not even be the answer. This might be a long season for the Vikings, and they may be regretting letting Sam Darnold go to Seattle, because Sam Darnold's doing some pretty good things in Seattle, and the Vikings are struggling with Carson Wentz at quarterback. Curious to see if they make a move for another quarterback going forward, because I don't know if you can trust Carson Wentz. And at 3-4, you're fighting for a wild card spot now. So let's see what happens with trade deadline coming up, and we'll go from there.
Yeah, non-throwing arm that he has injured, Bam, but it was tough to watch him get hit again and again and again. Carson Wentz showing his emotion. Unfortunately, not showing his team towards a win. That, again, 37-10 loss. Paul's been very, very spot on and maybe critical of even the Broncos towards their charge in the AFC West. He's just letting us know that the Chargers are starting to get healthy and are starting to get a little dangerous too. 5-3, right behind the Denver Broncos. We got another toasted alert coming around the corner here. Dolphins and Falcons. We've had the Dolphins, I think, on the toasted segment a couple of times, as they've been roughed up so far this NFL season, but not in this game, man. It's the Falcons. The Falcons that gets the toasted segment on this one, Kenny.
One of the shockers of the year and so far through 8 weeks. Mike McDaniel on the hot seat. Tyreek Hill goes down. Tua's not the answer. Well, Tua went yesterday, and you might not see many more of these this year, but Tua goes 20 for 26, 4 touchdowns in this game. Jalen Waddle on 1 yard short of 100 yards. Dolphins improved to 2-6. They brought the Latin flavor to Atlanta. Keep an eye out. If Jalen Waddle, though, is named to keep an eye out, maybe this was his audition for another team come trade deadline next week. But with the deadline approaching, but what a clunker for the Falcons, who are near the top of the NFC South with the Buccaneers, and I can't consider them serious with a home loss like this to the Dolphins. So I'm going to call the Falcons not only toasted, but pretenders as well.
Yeah, and I watch a good friend in the podcast industry, Scott Kennedy, talking about the Falcons. He had the opportunity to go post game yesterday, and here's a team that they really don't know what they want to do. Is this the right coach? Is this the right GM? Where do they go? you have a GM that brought in Kirk Cousins, Michael Penix. Things the defense obviously is not looking good. The Falcons got toasted, and they have a lot of questions and unfortunately, it doesn't seem like a whole lot of answers at this point. See if they can get it back on track. See what Raheem Morris, what his tenure looks like as well. It's funny. All of a sudden, a Mike McDaniel comes in who's on the hot seat and plays an Atlanta Falcons game, comes out with a win, and all of a sudden the Falcons are now questioning themselves. I got a question coming in from another Keith, so I got to get to another Keith. He says, "Good morning, gentlemen. With the Chargers and Chiefs starting to come around, how do you see the AFC West playing out?" We talked about the Chargers. We've talked about the Broncos already. The Raiders are in a bye week, and the Chiefs will play, and we'll get a prediction here in a little bit on Monday Night Football for them. How do you feel about this AFC West, Kenny? What are your thoughts on this AFC West from an outside perspective? Because it might be a little bit blinded by the Broncos light.
I think it's the best division in the AFC by far, from top to bottom. And that includes the Raiders, because when the Raiders play the Chiefs, that was a clunker, but they're going to be getting Brock Bowers back. They're going to have one of those games that's going to be their Super Bowl. And don't ever count them out of any game. But the Chargers, Chiefs, and Broncos, that's a good question, Keith. Chiefs are coming. I've been saying that. The Chiefs are on a roll. They're getting player after player back each week. Keep an eye out for them. They like to make some sneaky moves at the trade deadline. I'd be worried about the Chiefs. If I'm a Chargers or Broncos fan, I'd be worried about the Chiefs. Chargers, I think, are good. I think all three teams will be in the playoffs. When it comes push to shove, I'm going to go Broncos are going to win this division. I like their schedule, Keith. And Chiefs and Chargers will be both in the wild card to make a fun AFC West throughout the season. But I'm going to stick with the Broncos, sticking ahead because they got that 1-game lead right now. They haven't faced the Chiefs yet. They got the advantage on the Chargers. They still got another game versus the Chargers, important games. Give me the Broncos with the Chiefs and Chargers in the wild card this year.
Yeah, it's going to be a run. I think it's going to be neck and neck to the very end. I think you put it really well. The Chiefs are coming on. Obviously, the Chargers, they came out strong, kind of hit a rough patch, but got another victory this last Sunday. It's going to be interesting to see exactly how this all plays out. I like my Broncos. I like what they're doing. This defense showed me quite a bit yesterday. This offense, obviously, putting up 44 points is more than capable. It's going to be a week-to-week, Keith. It's going to be week-to-week and about staying in front, because right now you do have that lead. Those Chiefs games are going to be huge. That second Chargers game is going to be huge. It's going to be interesting. Michael Ronquillo coming in. Maybe we'll fast forward to this game. He said the Bengals should have be on the toasted for losing to the New York Jets. We didn't have the Bengals on here, but the winless Jets are winless no more, Kenny, as they get in the win column with one win versus Joe Flacco and the Bengals. Man, want to talk about this game for a second?
Sure. Jets improved 1-7, like you said. The Bengals, after their win against the Steelers last week, I said, watch out, Steelers. The Bengals are on the rise with Joe Burrow, get him back late. But what a clunker. And I'm looking at scores yesterday as I'm watching the Eagle-Giants game. I'm like, oh, boy, the Jets are going to be 0-8. 23 points in the fourth quarter, though, proved me wrong. And I should have never said this game's over after what the Broncos did to the Giants last week. Happens again this week. 23 points from the Jets. Justin Fields, 21 for 32, 244 with a touchdown. But Breece Hall was the difference in this one. 18 rushes, 133 yards, 2 touchdowns, and he threw for another. 3 touchdowns from Breece Hall. That's the Breece Hall I've been waiting for, and I've been excited for, and I still think that's going to be maybe – I don't think Alvin Kamara is going anywhere, but Breece Hall could be the running back that moves to another team at the deadline. And for the Bengals, I mean, Zach Taylor, you got to be on the hot seat. I'm sorry. Yeah, I never liked the hire originally. I know he got the team to a Super Bowl, but I just don't like what they're doing there in Cincinnati. They got a high-priced defensive guy in Hendrickson, and they're not going anywhere. Jamar Chase and T. Higgins. They need Joe Burrow back in the worst way, and he may not even come back this year if they keep losing. So, Congratulations to the Jets, though, being the last winless team. So we have no 0-for teams this year.
That's true. True. No 0-17 team this year. Just on a side note, man, we're all humans. Post-game press conference by Justin Fields, he got pretty real and pretty emotional. Talked about it being like literally in his own closet in tears this week, and getting support from his family to go out there. And what he did this week, it's tough out there for everybody, including NFL stars that are getting paid millions of dollars, man. Owner didn't have anything nice to say about him. He went out there and he proved him wrong. Congratulations to Justin Fields and the Jets. Big comeback, like you said, in the fourth quarter to get their first win. Congratulations to Aaron Glenn, too. Kind of a relationship there with the Broncos and Sean Payton as well. Pearl's pretty concerned about the Chiefs as well, as we were talking about that AFC West and how competitive it could be. Let's get to another one, though, man. Talking about the AFC, they took on the AFC North as they took on the NFC North. Ravens, Bears. Bears were looking pretty good there for a week or two, and Caleb Williams seemed to be getting it on track, but not in this game, man. It's a 16-30 loss for Caleb Williams as the Ravens got back on track without Lamar Jackson.
No Lamar Jackson, Tyler Huntley, 17 for 22, 186 and a touchdown. That's what good coaches do. I don't need you to be a superstar. I need you to be the game manager. Derrick Henry does his thing, 21 for 71, 2 touchdowns. They got the home field advantage in this game, and they didn't look back. The defense actually showed up in this game for the Ravens, which has been struggling throughout most of the year. On the losing side of it, Rome Odunze having an underrated year when you talk about top wide receivers in the league this year. He goes for 114, 7 catches. But Ravens improved to 2-5 and got the much-needed win. Bengals losing. They're climbing. They got a steep hill to climb. But if any team can do it, Lamar Jackson comes back, the Ravens could be a team to watch out for in the second half of the season. So let's keep an eye out for that. And the Bears, tough one for them off of a win streak. They dropped to 4-3 in the NFC North, behind the Lions and Packers now.
Yeah. See what the Bears can do in the weeks ahead. The Ravens have a pretty nice pathway if you look at their schedule. A lot of people are still saying, "Hey, don't look out, or don't count them out from still winning that AFC North." Even though they only have 2 wins. Look at their schedule. It's certainly a possibility. DeAndre Witherspoon coming in here. Happy about his Broncos, 6-2, first in the AFC West. Thanks for joining in over on YouTube. And Bo Leave and Bo Nix is the only way to go. Broncos country only, says Ernie Mays. Maybe we'll get to one more toasted. We'll get to an amazing sponsor. And then I got a little blind ranking for you, my friend. And maybe we'll get on the other side. The one I'm going to get to, man, the Bills decided they were going to flex their muscles against the, the up and down, the rough and tumble Carolina Panthers. They came out on the back end of this one, though, my friend.
Yeah, 40-9, toasting Buffalo, lots of hot sauce, buffalo wing sauce, if you want to call it, that Josh Allen brought down to Carolina. And James Cook actually did the cooking in this one. Goes for 216, 2 touchdowns. And like his name says, cooked that Carolina defense. And, the Panthers were on the menu, that's for sure. And down in Carolina, I don't know what that defense, man, but those defense and those breakfast restaurants were definitely closed on Sunday. So I know like that there's a couple restaurants that are closed on Sundays, fast food. We don't want, you get your fast food restaurants. Well, the Panthers defense was closed on Sunday as well. And much needed win for Buffalo to stay on track with New England. And Carolina, you never know with that team. You're going to get either an A performance or an F performance. And it was an F performance on Sunday.
Yeah. I mean, 9 points, 40 that you gave up to the Buffalo Bills. By the way, Josh Allen now has 70 rushing touchdowns. And I saw on NFL Network, he passed Maurice Jones-Drew for rushing touchdowns on that list. Amazing. Josh Allen, the Buffalo Bills, they continue to be dominant and continue to put themselves in position year after year, hoping it pays off one of these years for themselves. It certainly paid off this Sunday, man. Absolutely toasted the Carolina Panthers this last week. DeAndre also coming in and said the Broncos now get a tough game next week at Houston. DeAndre, I would implore you to check out the Denver Bronco Roundup podcast. We go live on Wednesday and Friday, talk all about the Broncos. That's 7:30 p.m., somewhere in there. We're on YouTube. We're on Facebook. Denver Bronco Roundup podcast, another Rocky Mountain Sports Network show. I'd love to see you there. We'll talk even more. Pearl saying she has to run and take care of the hubby. I want to talk about Pearl right now. Check out Morgan Trinkets. Morgan Trinkets for the holidays is fantastic. They do Southwest Jewelry, Southwest Pottery, Estate Gold at wholesale prices. They used to be a nationwide company. Now they hang out in northern Colorado and southern Wyoming. They have an amazing Etsy store. Type in Morgan Trinkets Co. over on Etsy, and you'll see everything she has to offer. If you see Pearl Heater is the owner of this, if you type in Pearl Heat over on eBay, you also get to see everything she has to offer on there as well. Like I said, Southwest Jewelry, Southwest Pottery, Estate Gold at wholesale prices, and silver, sterling silver, 100% sterling silver as well. Check out Morgan Trinkets. They're your headquarters, and your headquarters for the holidays as well. Check them out. Hopefully, Pearl, you got to hear that before you had to go take care of the hubby. Thanks for stopping in with us this morning. Roy Osborne's coming in saying, good morning, Bruggs and Kenya. I didn't think the outcome of the game yesterday was going to be like it was.
Guessing's talking Broncos because he's a Bronco fan, Roy.
Yep. I was a little bit surprised too. Kind of like I said, I didn't expect to feel so at ease as the game progressed, especially third quarter, fourth quarter, when we felt like we had it to bed, already put to bed. And good to wake up this morning juice, and talk a little bit of Broncos football with you as well, Roy. Kenny, I promised you I would get you a blind ranking.
My first one. Let's see if I can ace it.
Ooh, I think I got you a tough one, man.
I don't want the easy ones. Good.
So, in the spirit of Halloween and the scary, spooky season, Kenny, top 5 scariest defenses since 1980. Got a list of 5 that you'll need to put together here. I'm going to start off with my 2015 no-fly zone Denver Broncos. Where are you going to put them on your top 5 list, my friend?
I'm curious to see who else Keith has on this list. I don't want to lose the Bronco fans here. I'm going to go 4. I'm not putting them 5. I won't do that, but I'm going to put them 4 because I think there's going to be some good ones on this list.
All right. There are some good ones on this list. That's why it's so dang tough, man.
Yep.
I like this. I'm drinking Lion Coffee, not juice, coming in from Roy, our unofficial Lion Coffee sponsor. Okay, Broncos, 2015 no-fly zone Broncos. They take number 4. I'm going to flip it over to the 1986 New York Football Giants. Why not get your team on this list, Kenny?
Yep, LT, Carl Banks. That was a heck of a defense there that beat the Broncos. I'm going to go one step higher. I'm going to go 3. I think I might have wanted to move them up a little more, but I'm thinking of 2 defenses that may be in there that might be better than 86.
Yeah, your defenses, so maybe this will be easier than I thought for you. Um, I'm gonna go 2013 Legion of Boom, Seattle Seahawks. Where are they going on your list, my friend?
Man, I think the 86 defense is better than the Legion of Boom. I think the 15 and 13 you can go 3 and 4. So do I want to put him at 5 and Keats got some defenses that are worse there, or do I take the chance and put him at 2? I'm going 5. I'm going Legion of Boom 5. I could really fail right now depending on what Keats got on this list. So
I think you're doing really well, my friend. See how you put these last two together, I guess, right? How about the 1985 Bears?
I'm going to put them 1. I saw that team firsthand the year before 86 with the Giants, and I saw what they did to my Giants that year. Well before we had DirecTV, that Bears-Giants game. That was the game. That was a defense with Richard Dent and the late Steve McMichaels and Mike Singletary in the middle.
Yeah.
Scary defense there. I'm going to go number 1. I don't, that can arguably be the top defense ever.
William the Refrigerator Perry, brings back memories.
Yeah.
Well, I'm thinking you're acing this list, man. The last one I got on here, the 2000 Baltimore Ravens, man.
Yeah. Another team defense. They watch if you fans of 30 for 30, or if you're not a fan of 30 for 30, look up the Baltimore Ravens one with the defense. That's such a good episode of the 30 for 30s that ESPN puts out. Ray Lewis leading that defense, and the late great Tony Siragusa. What a personality he was. And they brought in some other players that year. I think they had Rod Woodson and some other veterans on that defense. And Terrell Suggs, what a defense! A defense that, if it wasn't for the 85 Bears, I think could be the best defense ever in football.
I want to ask you this one. This is one that I was tempted, and I couldn't make a top 6 for you. By the way, fantastic. Yeah, the Bears, 1985 Bears, number 1. 2000 Ravens, number 2. You have your New York Football Giants in 86 taking the 3 spot. You got the 2015 no-fly zone Broncos in the 4 spot, and the 2013 Legion of Boom Seattle Seahawks in the 5th spot. Man, I got to give you like an A on this one, man. I wouldn't have put it together any differently. But as a bonus question, man, 1991 Philadelphia Eagles.
Reggie White, Jerome Brown. Whew.
Yeah.
I don't think they're as good as the 85 2000 Clyde Simmons.
Yeah.
They're not as good as the 85 2000 85 Bears 2000 Ravens. I'm going to say they're not as good as the 86 Giants. Maybe the Legion of Boom. I think you had them right down there at 6. But the no-fly zone, I still have them better than that defense as well. And not taking anything away, when you're 6th best defense in the last 40 years, that's something to say. But I'm going to make a bold prediction right now, Bronco fans. This 2025 Broncos defense has a chance to be better than that no-fly zone. Keep an eye out on that defense the rest of the year. Watching what they did to the Jets, and seeing what Justin Fields did against the Bengals. Look at the negative yards in a game, and what they did to the Cowboys yesterday. It may not look it because 24 points on the board, but Ernie said garbage touchdown. I don't count that. Dak Prescott. This is a defense you might want to keep an eye out for where it gets ranked in the future, because they're going for that sack record. That's another important number to keep an eye out for when you rank defenses.
That's true, man. If they obliterate that sack record, then, how do you not start putting them on one of the better defenses ever? to play the game, man. But want to see a well-rounded football team. I start thinking about this top 5 list, and man, from front to back, man, these teams were tough. They took care of business. So all the way around, love to see the 2025 Denver Broncos make this list. Let's continue to go through the list of games, Kenny. We'll pile through them, maybe pick up the pace just a little bit, I guess, if we can. 49ers, Texans take care of business at home. This was one that kind of surprised me, man, because I thought the 49ers had something going there, but didn't have much going in a 15-28 loss to the Texans, a team that this Broncos team will take on next and down in Houston.
Must win for the Texans. They improved to 3-4. 49ers now, Seahawks were off, Rams were off. They fall a half a game behind those two teams in the NFC West. CJ Stroud, 30 for 39 in this game, 318 yards, 2 touchdowns, threw to 10 wide receivers. No Nico Collins, 10 different players he threw to in this game, not 10 receivers. But spread the ball around. This is going to be a team that is going to be in that wild card hunt, maybe an outside shot at the Colts. If they got to play the Colts, their division's not out of reach yet. Huge game next week. Defense versus defense. Who's going to have to make the more plays is going to be the difference maker in that game. Again, check out Keith on Wednesday with Jody. And then on Fridays as well, they'll be breaking it down more, the Broncos-Texans game. But looking forward to that defensive matchup next week. And 49ers, hey, they're right in the mix. They'll be getting Brock Purdy back soon. So keep an eye out for that team going into the second half.
Yeah. Mac Jones kept held the fort pretty well, but wasn't able to get it done versus the Texans. Paul didn't want to ignore him. He said, how about that Super Bowl Bucks defense? They were pretty good. Yeah, with Sapp and Brooks and John Lynch.
Lynch,
that's another one.
Rondé Barber.
Yep. Did you say the Ray Lewis defense and the Ravens? Yeah, they ranked number 2 on Kenny's list, man. 2000 Baltimore Ravens. So absolutely, man. That was but good call, Paul, on that Super Bowl Bucks defense. That was one that I really enjoyed watching back in the day myself. Patriots. Patriots are for real, man. Patriots have got things clicking, man, as they got it clicking at home versus the Browns, 32-13. Drake May looking like the quarterback of the future for the Patriots, which, I mean, let's face it, that's tough to come off of a Tom Brady and then start naming your quarterback of the future. We all know that as Broncos fans, just as an instance. So, man, what a game up there as the Patriots continue to take care of business.
Another quarterback spreading the ball around. No true elite number 1 wide receiver over there. Trevion Henderson had a little coming out party, 75 yards rushing. But at 50 on the ground from Drake May. If you watched Hard Knocks, the general manager, the executive version was with the Giants last year. And when they were at the Combine, 2 years ago, I should say, they went and they showed the Combine. The Giants made a call to the Patriots to see if they'd be willing to trade back with the Giants so the Giants can move up for a quarterback. And they didn't want to do it. The asking price was way too much. And they drafted Drake May. And they knew they had something special in the future brewing with Drake May. And he had all the traits of a franchise quarterback. And he's showing it. 6-2 for the Patriots, and they're not looking back. Browns fall to 2-6. Myles Garrett, 5 sacks in that game yesterday. Rapid fire question for you on this game. Rapid fire. We did this on our K&K show last week. Who's the bigger surprise in the NFL this year? Colts or Patriots?
Oh my goodness. I'd probably have to still go Colts. Just because I think you saw the ascension and you're hoping for something out of Drake May, but I think that Daniel Jones is kind of, thrown to the wayside and had zero expectations. So I'd still go with Colts, but that's a great question, man. I don't think we expected this out of Drake May and the New England Patriots either.
Real quick, I went with the Patriots only because of the division. When you look at the division, AFC South with Colts or Jaguars, maybe they can win the division. The Patriots, nobody had any of the three teams beating the Bills in the division. And 8 games in, they're in first place. So, that's why I had them. So, it was a great question. And it's, no wrong answer. There's no wrong answer.
5 sacks, says Paul. He says, and he's on the Patriots side of things with you, man. Patriots being the bigger surprise. 5 sacks. Yeah, 5 sacks yesterday and still lose the game 32-13. I mean, I typically those stats are never in the same game. Your quarterback gets sacked 5 times by one player. You don't win the game 32-13. It just don't happen. Myles Garrett, hey, let's face it, if he didn't have the contract he did there in Cleveland, we'd probably be talking about a little bit of a trade candidate there as well. So never know what's going to happen with Cleveland here in the future.
One more important note on that game. Kayshawn Judkins went down with an injury. I'm not sure of the injury extent, not Cam Scatterboo
status. Yeah,
he does go down with an injury in this game, and he's been one of the top rookie running backs in the league this year. So we lose 2 it's tough when you lose two stars, rookie stars in the same week.
Yeah, absolutely. That's very true. That's very true, man. Reeling a little bit there. Got one here that maybe we expected the outcome. But boy, was it ugly. The Buccaneers traveled to New Orleans, took on the Saints, 23-3 victory. I have this as my bonus toasted, man. I was a little bit of a closet Spencer Rattler fan. Spencer Rattler got toasted yesterday, man. From fumbling the ball to throwing an interception near his own goal line, and then he gets trucked as the defender goes into the end zone, running over him. This Saints team is pure toasted, man. I don't know where they go from here. This is their worst start since Mike Ditka was the head coach for the New Orleans Saints. It was ugly, and the Buccaneers took care of business. It's Rattler got benched, I think, is what he thinks that's what happened. I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah, he did, because Tyler Shuck got his opportunity. I did see that. So, I mean, just, no answers, no questions, only 3 points. The Buccaneers take care of business, man. And like I said, toasted for the New Orleans Saints.
Yeah, I mean, Baker Mayfield only was 15 for 23, 152, no touchdowns in this game. So, with Baker not having all his weapons, the Saints maybe had a chance for an upset, but the defense showed up for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and toasted them, like you said, Keith. Curious now at 1-7. Saints definitely need a quarterback next year. There's a couple good ones coming out, but there's one that's starting to really climb up boards. And maybe, Keith, when we, next year's year 3 of our draft show, people are going to be talking about Fernando Mendoza. He's the quarterback out of Indiana, the number 2 ranked Indiana Hoosiers. When have you ever heard that in college football? But toasted, but the Saints are in the hunt. They need a quarterback. They may be looking to see what they can get for some of their veterans and get some more draft capital going into the 2026 draft. So keep an eye out. Chris Olave got a little banged up yesterday. Rashid Shaheed, even Kamara, Demario Davis. Kamara, I know, said he wants to stay in New Orleans, but you're a veteran. Hey, we're going to move on. It's better for the team. Kamara may be on the move. Olave, Demario Davis. This team might have a fire sale to get themselves some much valuable draft capital next year to maybe get that Fernando Mendoza or whatever quarterback they're eyeing. Make sure they get that prize next year for their future.
just backing up a little bit, Michael Ronquillo saying Myles Garrett is not happy. Yeah,
Nope.
it's I don't know if I was Myles Garrett, if I would have stuck to my guns when he said I want out of here and wouldn't have taken that big contract. Now you're maybe a lifelong Cleveland Brown, and you're stuck being a Cleveland Brown. Stuck being a Titan or a Colt, was never a great thing, maybe in the recent past. But the Colts, like you said, have risen up, and they rose up on Sunday, taking care of the Titans in a beatdown over there as well. Is that 38-14?
Yeah, another
Boy.
one. You don't want to put the Titans on toasted every week. We feel bad for those type of teams, but that's another easy one that could have been toasted this week as well.
Yeah.
It's nice to have new teams up there, but Daniel Jones and Jonathan Taylor 1-1A for MVP. But my true MVP of the Colts is the offensive line, because Daniel Jones, 272, 2 touchdowns, 21 for 29. Jonathan Taylor runs for 153 with 2 touchdowns. And Pittman, 95 and 1 touchdown. They keep rolling, 1 loss. But the Titans, here you go. They have, hopefully, they drafted Cam Ward. Hopefully they stick with him as their quarterback next year. That's probably their plan. They don't want to give up on him so soon. Here comes a team like the Saints, and the Titans can move back in the draft next year and maybe get multiple first-round picks and really build for their future as well. So the Titans keep losing. They're going to have a very valuable pick next year at the top of the draft order. And the draft's going to be a lot of fun next year when we do our draft show coverage, because I do think this could be one of those ones where you see a number 1 pick get traded for like 3 first-round picks if it's somebody like the Titans that have that pick.
Yeah, absolutely, man. It could be a wild, wild one, man. A lot of teams that'll want to be moving and shaking, I think, this offseason is, like you said, the toasted segment could be expanded. We saw a lot of games. This was one of them. Tennessee Titans, obviously kind of reeling, putting up 14 points, but not what they wanted, maybe with their rookie year or rookie quarterback year 1 and Cam. Did I say? All of a sudden, I lost my train of thought. Cam Ward. I was like Cam Newton. All of a sudden, like popped into my head. I'm like it's about a decade ago, Keith. We need to worry about that one. Cam Ward and what he's able to do. So we'll see. But the Colts keep on rolling, man. And like you said, running game got back on track. Which, man, if all of a sudden that running game gets full speed like we saw on Sunday, and you pair that up with what Danny Dimes is doing, look out. The Colts are looking pretty dang heavy there in the AFC South. Last one, man. We watched it last night, Kenny. Packers and Steelers. Ugliest uniform of the week with the Steelers out there. Don't need those throwbacks anytime soon. Not calling for them to be.
Ain't selling many of them on the internet.
Nope. And maybe not selling anymore after they end up taking a loss. Close game, though. It seemed like it was closer than it ended up. The Packers ends up getting the win, though, 35-25. Aaron Rodgers takes the loss, has a tough stretch ahead, and Jordan Love looked pretty dang good out there. 20 straight completions as well.
Finished 29 for 37, 360, 3 touchdowns. Tucker Kraft, what a story here. I don't know for those who've seen the game. He goes 7 for 143, 2 touchdowns from a small town in South Dakota, 512 population, 1 restaurant bar in the neighborhood, and they showed the people. It probably had half the town at the bar watching, and he put on a show for them. And I hope that bar has that restaurant has a grilled cheese special, because the Kraft last name, have a little grilled cheese special there for Tucker Kraft, with the cheese heads, and have a little grilled cheese special for his performance there. But you talk about teams flying under the radar. Packers are 5-1-1, and you don't hear anybody talking about that record. And you hear the Colts, you hear the Patriots, you hear the Broncos. You don't hear much about the Packers, and they're sitting with the 1 seed right now in the NFC. In the NFC.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. Ain't that the truth, man? you almost brought that to my attention right as we speak here, man. I haven't paid attention to the Packers, and I haven't really watched them up until last night. And Jordan Love went out there and he looked good. And this Packers team is obviously leading the way. Hey, they're going to be a contender, man. They're going to be a contender. They played a tough game. You know that Aaron Rodgers wanted to go out there and prove something out there on Sunday Night Football, but it was the Packers who took care of business. And hats off, man. We'll see what that team can do now in the NFC moving forward. Kenny, I got to give it up to you. Super crafty, Tucker Kraft cheese heads. Man, I think you got something going there. If he doesn't have something lined up, he should. Also got to give it up because yesterday was National Tight Ends Day. There wasn't a whole lot of tight ends that really had a whole lot to say on National Tight Ends Day. Whew, Tucker Kraft took care of business though on Sunday, man. He made it count. He made it up for everybody in that Sunday night game. Congratulations to Tucker Kraft, man. Great game out there. Kenny, one game we got to predict, man.
One game we got to predict. Yep. It's my NFC East versus your AFC West.
Mm-hmm.
There's one major difference in this game, and the star quarterback for the Commanders is out, Jaden Daniels. And this game is in Kansas City. Marcus Mariota is a reliable backup. I just personally think it's going to be too much on national TV. Chiefs being home, Chiefs riding that win streak. I think the Chiefs get off to a fast start here. I think it's a little closer than the experts predict, but in the long run, I think they're going to have too much for the Commanders. I'm going to go with like a 28-20 victory for the Chiefs tonight.
Yeah. If this was Jaden Daniels, I'd be much more excited about this game and what the possibility. I'm sure that's what the schedule makers had, at Jaden Daniels versus Patrick Mahomes. How amazing would that game have been? Instead, we do get a Marcus Mariota versus Patrick Mahomes. And man, I just want the Chiefs to lose, but I just don't think I'm going to be able to do it. I can't make that prediction here. I'll go ahead and I'll keep your 28 points from the Chiefs, man. But, I'm going to go ahead and I'll put up 13 points for the Commanders in this one. 28-13 victory for the Kansas City Chiefs. As the Broncos will need to try to keep pace, as these AFC West contenders like the Chiefs and the Chargers come on strong, man. Just means we need to keep winning, Broncos country. We can do it, man. But the Chiefs, I think, will be able to get the win here. Ernie Mays has the Commanders winning in a 29-14 victory. Love to see that, Ernie. And I think more than anything, me and you would both love to see the Chiefs lose. I think that's what that's all about, my friend. Kenny, anything before we get out of here? We're almost at the end.
I'll do this in a minute or less. I know, there's some college football news. I'll do this in a minute or less.
Yeah.
For those college football fans out there, Brian Kelly, LSU head coach, fired this past weekend after losing big to Texas A&M. He gets fired. $50 million buyout. A couple weeks ago, Penn State fires their head coach, James Franklin, $49 million buyout. Florida, big SEC school, fired their coach. UCLA, a Big Ten school, fired their head coach this year. There's three more on the hot seat. Big schools, Florida State, Oklahoma, Auburn come to mind. Keep an eye out. There's going to be a lot of shuffling around in college football head coaches. You may see some Joe Brady, a big name. Keith mentioned, an offensive coordinator for Buffalo. His name's getting mentioned for the LSU job. So keep an eye out for that. And going forward with Buffalo Bills this year, if his name gets, that may shake things up with Buffalo a little bit. So keep an eye out, and we'll do more next week. I got a topic, Michael's comment on the referees. We're going to save our topic on the referees for next week because we're out of time today, but got a nice little topic about the referees. He's saying Brad Allen is the referee for tonight's game, the same referee that pushed Justin Strnad. We're going to see how they referee tonight's game because they were terrible in the Giants-Broncos game. Terrible.
Yeah, not a good game for them. Now they get the Monday night game. I think there will be a lot of eyes on the refs. You talked about it, Kenny. We had a segment kind of that we wanted to get out there. We're kind of running out of time today. We'll save it for next week on the Morning Juice. But the refereeing in the NFL has been a point of contention for years, and I think we need to address it. We'll just put it that way, man. We'll talk about more about that next week, man. Another fantastic episode of the Morning Juice, Kenny. Appreciate you coming in here, man. He always is on top of it with all the stats, all the information when it comes to all these different teams. Kenny, another fantastic episode. I'm gonna say one of our best. I'm gonna say one of your best, and I'm gonna say it's because of the chocolate milk. That's what it is.
Chocolate milk did it. That was my go-to when I was a kid. So brought back a childhood favorite. But great job, everybody. Next week we'll have trade deadline stuff. Can't wait for next week, next Monday morning. Have fun, enjoy tonight's game, enjoy the World Series on the baseball side and things. Baseball World Series continues, and we will see everybody next week. As always, juice it up. I'm out of chocolate milk today. I drank that really quick today, so I'll just say cheers, everybody, and we'll see everybody next week.
Yeah, absolutely, Kenny. Fantastic episode. I always appreciate jumping in here on a Monday morning talking about all the NFL teams. Make sure you like, share, subscribe. Share this with any of your NFL football fans, whether they're a fan of your favorite team or maybe they're a fan of a different team, man. I'd love to talk all NFL teams here on the Morning Juice. We're going to go ahead and get out of here. Y'all have a fantastic week. Make sure if you're a Broncos fan, you check out the Denver Bronco Roundup podcast. We go live on Wednesday and Friday evenings. We're on YouTube. We're on Facebook. We're on Apple Podcasts. We're on Spotify, and that includes for the Morning Juice as well. Take us on the run as you get out the door every Monday morning. Man, thanks, everybody, for jumping in here, having a fantastic show with us. We're going to get out of here. Can't wait to see you next week. Morning Juice, out of here. Cups up, everybody. Cups up.
Yes.